be ready for anything. I've been warning people for months now that after the selection date, November 5th, all bets are off across the board.
You're watching Silver News Daily. Subscribe for more.
Imagine if you had the chance to secure your wealth just before a massive market surge. Would you take it? Gregory Mannarino is making a bold prediction that silver is on the verge of a monumental breakout, and he's urging investors to go all in now. As the economy edges closer to instability, silver could be the hidden asset set to skyrocket to new highs. So, what's driving Mannarino's urgency? And why does he believe that silver is the safest bet in today's uncertain times? Stay tuned, because this could be your best opportunity to safeguard and even grow your wealth in a turbulent economy.
Man, look, this is a war. I've been telling people exactly, look, these central banks have their bases in every continent around this planet here, and they're winning, and we are losing. And unfortunately, it's not going to change. It's going to get dramatically worse. What they've done here is it's just too sick and twisted. The mechanism of enriching the 1% and 2% at the cost of everyone else around this world is in full play. People are in a state of learned helplessness now. The mechanism here of artificially suppressed rates, the mechanism of currency devaluation on the back of that has assured our own destruction. And people are, again, why are they not taught this stuff in school? It just really comes down to the fact that we are being pushed into that direction, and people have no idea why. It really just, with regard to finance and economics, and I've been trying to explain this to people, just as an example, right now as we are doing this, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up over 500 points. Meanwhile, the economic news from this morning was last month we added only 12,000 jobs, an abysmal jobs report. We just found out that factory activity and manufacturing just fell deeper into contraction, and the stock market is taking off. Why? It knows what's going on here. Again, it's the mechanism. The two factors that are destroying the economy are propelling world stock markets higher. That is, again, what we're being promised by Kamala and by Trump, promising lower rates, currency devaluation here. This mechanism, these are economic destroyers, but they boost the stock market. So, but this is why people still seem to believe there's a connection here between the stock market and the economy. And I've been telling people for I don't know how many years now, probably for almost 10, that the worse off that the economy goes, the higher the stock market's going to go because of these same mechanisms. People are committing suicide here. They're again, because they don't understand what's happening to them. Like you said, the confusion, the division, the controlled society that we have, this demolition that is going on here. It's not going to change. We have surpassed, and this morning I did a video.
Let's start by diving into a surprising surge in silver demand that's taking place halfway around the world. In India, silver purchases have skyrocketed by an incredible 30-35% during the recent festive season. And here's the kicker. This demand surge happened despite a massive 40% increase in silver prices. Think about that. While most investments would see people backing away at such high prices, silver is seeing a stampede of buyers. So why are Indian consumers choosing silver over other assets? Well, part of the reason is affordability. With gold prices soaring beyond the reach of many, silver has become the go-to option for those looking for a safe haven investment. It's not just a matter of cost, though. Silver's dual role as both a precious metal and an industrial commodity has created a strong base of demand, especially in a country like India, where silver is both a symbol of wealth and a practical asset. And here's where it gets even more interesting. This spike in demand isn't just an isolated cultural trend. It reflects a global shift as more people turn to silver for stability and long-term value. India's recent demand increase could be just the beginning of a larger wave, especially as investors worldwide start to recognize silver as a hedge against economic instability. With demand climbing even as prices rise, we're witnessing an early signal that silver might be primed for an unprecedented breakout. Could this wave of demand help drive prices to new highs, as Gregory Mannarino predicts? If silver is gaining traction in India, a country with a long tradition of valuing precious metals, What might this mean for its future in global markets?
People that still believe in a dead system. This is not a republic. This is not a democracy. This has been taken over right now. Central banks run the entire show. It's not presidents, kings, queens, dictators, monarchs. The entire world has been taken over by central banks. That's it. They're the government. They make the rules. He or she who controls the cash controls the world. Man, we've been told this forever here. And it's just, look, it's very unfortunate to witness what's going on here. What we have here is an absolutely controlled society. Their minds have been taken over by the propaganda ministry. Look here. Don't look here. Deceptions, lies across the board. It just doesn't stop. People don't know what to think anymore, but just put all that aside, everyone. Look, you could sit here and we could focus on all these different things that are going on here under the table, on top, in your face and everywhere else. People can't see things that are in their face. So how are they supposed to see things that are kind of being conducted, in the dark? But the main thing is, look, just put all that aside here, honestly, and realize the society is controlled. We have been divided. We have been conquered. We can't come together on a single issue. We can't elicit change. We've done this to ourselves. Why? No accountability. I've been telling people for years, why is it that you can have this puppet say that and this puppet say this, and no one holds them to account? The media, the mainstream media outlets, same thing. You remember, you and me, when there was a time when the media was held to account for what they said, for what they put out, but there's nothing anymore. It's a controlled society. You have these people put over here, these people put over there. They can pull off whatever they want. And I want people to understand that the system, look, is being deconstructed piece by piece, methodically. This has been going on for decades. And central banks are the root cause, the source of everything that we're seeing right now. It's not the Bidens, nor the Trumps, nor the whoever's that are control of a darn thing. And again, it's unfortunate that people can't break out of that. They're looking in the wrong places, and they're being deceived. They're being deceived yet again. These same people. What gets to me here is, why is it, in anyone's opinion that's maybe smarter than me, which is probably everyone here that's listening, why is it there was not a single question during the presidential clown show debate, nor the vice presidential selection debate, whatever, about monetary policy, what the Fed is doing, why both puppets here are promising lower rates, which obviously means a weaker currency, and people are cheering for it? Not one question at all. And then again, it's the blame game. Well, it's Trump's fault why we have inflation. Well, it's Biden's fault. It's neither of them's fault. Neither one of them has a printing press. Neither one of these people have the ability to devalue the currency. It's the central bank. It's monetary policy. But people have been led to believe that's true. But again, neither party wants to point their finger at the root cause of the issue, which is, of course, central banks. And they're in control. It's astonishing to me how both the Republican Party, Democratic Party, have to portray the Federal Reserve as being on the side of angels, because they're the ruling body. They're the ones that are being protected here by the deceptions, the distractions, by no finger pointing here. And we, the people of not just the United States, of the world, are being systematically wiped. I don't know another way to put it.
Now, let's talk about the real numbers, where silver prices currently stand and the key levels it's struggling to break through. Right now, silver is trading around $32.76 an ounce, a solid gain in recent weeks, especially given the pressures it's facing from a strong U.S. dollar and rising Treasury yields. On the surface, silver seems to be inching up, but it's hitting a significant barrier just below the $34 mark, which is held firm as a ceiling for the metal. Why is $34 such an important threshold? In technical terms, this level is a critical resistance point. Breaking past it could signal a new leg up for silver, setting the stage for a possible price surge. But the strong dollar and higher yields are creating a tug of war that's keeping silver from moving higher. When the dollar strengthens, silver, which is priced in dollars, becomes more expensive for international buyers. And with Treasury yields climbing, many investors are drawn to the bond market, where they can earn returns without the price volatility that commodities like silver bring. Despite these headwinds, silver has shown resilience, holding close to this resistance level. And here's the twist. If the dollar's strength weakens or Treasury yields stabilize, silver could be poised to finally break out above $34. If that happens, we could be looking at a new upward trend that might confirm Mannarino's prediction of silver reaching unprecedented highs. So we're at a tipping point, a fragile balance where any shift in economic conditions could break silver out of its current range. What would it mean for investors if silver shatters this resistance? And are we on the verge of seeing silver make a move that could defy its recent history of modest gains? Mannarino believes this is just the beginning. But what do you think?
Again, the debt bubble is going to burst. With such ferocity, people aren't going to know what happened. And then, of course, we're going to get the multiples contraction cycle. People's investment plans are going to go up in smoke. But it goes way beyond that. It's not just a matter of the markets crashing. Forget about market crashes. I feel we're going to end up, and we're already in, a full-blown liquidity crisis. And the fact of the matter is that we can prove that by looking at the global economy contracting here in the United States and around the world at its fastest pace on record, and central banks continuing to inflate. At the same time, the system must be fueled, and that should worry people, because without more fuel, this whole thing will implode, and it will implode overnight. So understanding the mechanism here, look, when you have this multiples expansion cycle in the stock market, again, even though the market's right here at record highs again as the economy free falls, but that means that other assets are on sale. And based on, looking at global debt, it's commodities, of course, here. We're going to end up in what I believe is going to be a super cycle beyond super cycles. I can't even come up with a name of commodities again, because again, these are real things. The debt market sell-off is going to destroy, and I cannot underscore that word enough, destroy world stock markets as the multiple contraction cycle begins. Cash is just going to move. It doesn't grow money wings and fly away to money heaven. It's going to go into commodities in a massive way. Other suppressed assets, I also believe it's going to make its way into cryptocurrency as well, only because of its market cap. It's so under-owned. But anyway, crypto is in for everybody. I get it. It's a very volatile asset class, but commodities are a no-brainer, man. You got to be in this stuff. My favorite asset has been, as you well know, and everyone who follows my work, is silver. I mean, I just look at this very, very simply. Again, there's no magic to this. I look at the Dow gold ratio, the gold silver ratio. Now we got to figure out where the bottom is on the Dow. Where is the bottom? We don't know where the bottom is. And my best guess is the bottom for the Dow is 8,000 in our current environment. The bottom is 8,000, and I would believe we're going to get a 1-to-1 ratio with gold. So 8,000 gold, and could be even a 10-to-1 with silver in a full-on, panic, or more likely 15-to-1. But so that's where this is going here. But that's not even the real issue. The real issue that we're going to face is what we were facing in '08, was a locking up of the credit markets. And again, this is why Bernanke was rushed in before Loving Caring representatives said, hey, we have to pump billions into the system right now, or by Monday we're not going to have an economy. That's a quote. That's what he said. It wasn't about the market crash. So that's what we're being pushed into. Now, I want people to focus on this. There must be, and there will be, an event to point that again.
Let's dig deeper into one of the most compelling drivers behind silver's long-term potential. Its rising demand in the industrial sector, especially in green technology and electric vehicles. Silver is no longer just a precious metal or a traditional hedge against inflation. In today's world, it's an essential component for the future of sustainable energy. Why? Because silver has unique properties. It's an excellent conductor of electricity and highly durable, which makes it crucial for everything from solar panels to electric vehicle batteries. Take solar energy, for example. Silver is used in photovoltaic cells, the key components that allow solar panels to capture sunlight and convert it into electricity. According to the Silver Institute, demand for silver in the solar sector alone accounts for almost a quarter of global industrial silver demand. And that number is only expected to grow as more countries push for renewable energy. Nations around the world are ramping up their investments in solar infrastructure, from the U.S. to China and beyond. As a result, the need for silver is predicted to increase sharply in the coming years. And it doesn't stop with solar. The electric vehicle market, which is projected to expand massively over the next decade, is another powerhouse for silver demand. Each EV requires a significant amount of silver in its electrical components, from wiring to battery connections. As governments and automakers alike commit to producing millions of EV, the industrial demand for silver is expected to soar. What does this mean for silver prices? This growing industrial demand adds a layer of strength to silver's investment appeal, making it more than just a hedge against economic downturns. The demand is steady, even in times of economic uncertainty, because industries like solar and EV production are here to stay. Mannarino's advice to invest in silver could be riding on more than just market trends. It's supported by real-world demand that isn't going away anytime soon. So are we witnessing the start of a new era for silver? Could this surge in green tech and EV push silver's value at heights we've never seen before? With silver's industrial applications growing every day, this may be a rare chance to invest in a metal that has both immediate and long-term potential. What do you think? Is silver the metal of the future?
It comes down to understanding how and why cash moves through the markets. And I'm not just talking about the stock markets. I'm talking about the debt market itself, currency markets, obviously commodities, gold, silver. And it's too easy. It really, really is. Now, let me just see, people don't understand this. When you have a mechanism of where central banks collectively keep rates artificially suppressed, and obviously that devalues the currency, this opens up a doorway for cash to make its way into risk assets here. And what this does is create what's called a multiples expansion cycle, meaning investors will pay virtually anything to own shares of stock, and this obviously inflates a massive stock market bubble, and creates distortions across the spectrum of asset classes, cash coming out of things it should be going into and vice versa. What's eventually going to happen here, and this is again no accident, it's absolutely deliberate, this debt hyper bubble is going to, when it bursts, is going to cause a multiples contraction cycle. So everyone's going to run to the door at the same time. Stock markets around the world are going to crater faster than anyone can possibly imagine. Now, the mechanism here of artificially suppressed rates has been working for many, many years. I've been telling people for years, buy the dips, buy the dips, buy the dips, riding this market. Me in particular, I'm an open book. Everyone knows what I'm buying, why I'm buying it, what I'm looking to do with regard to the stock market, taking advantage of it. As this multiples expansion cycle continues to go on, the faster the economy comes down, the higher the market's going to go until it doesn't. Now, there's no guesswork here. Again, I have a tool on my website. It's called the Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, MMRI. It's 100% free to anyone who wants to utilize this. It's the key to the market. The debt market is the linchpin. We're going to get a massive sell-off here at one point here, and this is also deliberate. The central banks buying it all and keeping rates suppressed here, creating this multiples expansion cycle.
Now, let's look at a powerful tool that silver investors have used for decades to spot opportunities: the gold-silver ratio. This ratio measures the number of ounces of silver it takes to buy 1 ounce of gold, and it's one of the oldest indicators in the precious metals market. Right now, the ratio is signaling something big. It's unusually high, suggesting that silver is deeply undervalued compared to gold. Historically, when the gold-silver ratio rises to these levels, it's seen as a prime buying signal for silver. But what exactly makes this ratio so significant? Let's break it down. In the past, whenever the gold-silver ratio has spiked, silver has often been poised for a strong upward move. For example, during the silver bull run of 2008 to 2011, this ratio hit a high before silver prices soared by nearly 400%. Investors who paid attention to the ratio were able to get in at low prices and ride the wave as silver surged to $1.50 an ounce. Now we're seeing similar conditions, with the ratio sitting at a point that many analysts consider historically high. This imbalance suggests that silver could be on the verge of another rally. Why does this happen? Well, the ratio tends to widen during periods of economic uncertainty, when investors flock to gold for safety, driving its price up faster than silver. However, when economic conditions shift and silver's demand catches up, silver prices tend to increase rapidly to close the gap with gold. With so much industrial demand lining up behind silver, that gap might not be sustainable for long. So what does this mean for investors today? Gregory Mannarino's prediction to go all in on silver could be based on this exact indicator. If the gold-silver ratio is correct, we're looking at a rare opportunity where silver may be undervalued, waiting for a breakout. Could this be the perfect time to buy silver before it closes the gap? The ratio is flashing a signal. The question is, will you heed the call?
They're talking about the point of no return. There's no way to fix this, and no one is here to fix it. And I've been telling people, whoever is selected to sit behind the Resolute desk, that's who the real trader is. They've made their case, and we all know this. What I find extremely disturbing, and I'm sure that you do, and most people, I guess, how does this system work? Any person running for the highest office in the nation, okay, what do they do? Where's the first place they go to? Behind closed doors, secret meetings on Wall Street with the CEOs of corporations, the banks, the central bankers. There's no minutes. There's no photographs. There's nothing. We, the people, are not allowed to know what takes place during these meetings. Then all of a sudden, they come out and they try to, say, I'm the person that's going to look. In my opinion, what happens in those meetings is they're vetted. Obviously, who's going to be the one that's going to again bring about what we're seeing here, and it's unfolding very, very rapidly, and then sell the people on fear, because people don't know what's going on, as you just alluded to. They have no clue as to what's happening. And a lot of people are throwing up their hands, surrendering, and then hoping this puppet or that puppet is going to be the one that's going to lead them to some utopian society here. Faith is obviously in the wrong place here. We have these demigods now. And look, I mean, I don't want to go off on some kind of a theological experiment here, but look, the downfall of every society since time immemorial is all for the same thing, because people turn their back on God. That is seriously my take on it. It's just people don't understand it. Look at every developed society going back as far as you want to go. They all fall for the same reason. It's the wrath of God, in my opinion here. And I know I anger a lot of people when I talk about the Almighty here. Frankly, I don't care. They can leave my blog. I have had many people unsubscribe. Greg, if you mention God one more time, I'm unsubscribing. Go ahead, man, leave. I don't know. But look, you and me and the people here, we get it, I think. And we're preaching to the choir, unfortunately. But that's why we got to get this message out there. Maybe people don't know what's going on. They don't know. They've been made deaf, dumb, and blind. And unfortunately, leading themselves to their own demise.
Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Federal Reserve and its impact on silver prices. In the world of precious metals, few things are as influential as central bank policies, and right now, the Fed's actions could set the stage for a significant shift in the silver market. Recently, there's been speculation that the Fed may consider cutting interest rates soon, which could have a major impact on the U.S. dollar and, in turn, silver. Here's how it works. When the Fed lowers interest rates, it makes borrowing cheaper, aiming to stimulate economic growth. But there's a side effect. Lower interest rates often weaken the dollar. For silver, which is priced in dollars, this is big news. A weaker dollar means that silver becomes more affordable for international buyers, driving up demand. Historically, when the dollar falls, silver prices tend to rise, as investors flock to precious metals as a hedge against currency devaluation. This potential rate cut comes at a time when economic signals are flashing red. Rising inflation, concerns about growth, and ongoing geopolitical tensions. If the Fed decides to cut rates, it could trigger a domino effect where the dollar weakens, making safe haven assets like silver all the more attractive. And let's not forget, the Federal Reserve's moves aren't just watched domestically. Global markets pay close attention. A dovish Fed policy could send ripples through international markets, further boosting demand for silver. Mannarino's call to go all in on silver could be riding on this anticipated shift. If the Fed turns more accommodative, silver may be positioned for a substantial rally. Are we on the brink of seeing silver's price surge as the dollar softens? Could this rate cut be the catalyst that pushes silver to break through its current resistance levels? Only time will tell, but for investors, this could be a pivotal moment. What are your thoughts? Is the Fed's policy shift the spark that silver has been waiting for?
Here, because there's going to be pandemonium in the streets. People think they're just going to be frolicking around here. No, there's going to be people are going to be at each other's throats. They've been divided. They've been taught to hate each other. This is probably the last step. Controlled society. Now get them to think any way you want. Okay, tell them a lie. They'll believe it. Tell them the truth. They don't want to hear it. That's how it works. It's kind of interesting, right? But the locking up of the system is going to create mass panic in the streets. And that is also not by accident here. Okay, people are going to look at their bank accounts and see all zeros. People are going to realize they have their cash is just gone. And then they need a massive outcry here because, again, people aren't going to adopt any kind of a new system without begging for it. That's what they want. They want us on our knees. So they're going to create an event, bring the system to a locking up of the entire system globally. This isn't just a phenomenon here. The central banks are running this show. And then they're going to say, okay, everyone, we have a big, huge problem. They're going to make you afraid of it, as they always do. And then they're going to say, well, don't worry about it. We're going to fix it. The same people who have created the issue, who are blameless, can't be blamed by puppets. Okay, they're the same ones who are going to offer you a solution. How does that work? But unfortunately, that's where we're going. And it can't be stopped. This is not something that is new. This is a very slow, methodical process. It's been going on since the inception of central banking and before that. To rein people in, how the few have controlled the many for thousands of years. It's always the same. It's always the same fear, blaming. I'm the person that's going to fix it for you. And we've seen this throughout history. Anyone that's out there claiming that I'm the person that's going to fix this whole thing, you know that they're telling you the polar opposite is more than likely true. People have been led to their death by the millions by people with that kind of a mentality. And these people are, well, they're the Antichrist in my view. But that's what we hear. But anyway, look, man, preaching to the choir here. I think we're on the same page. At least.
Let's dive into one of silver's most powerful roles, its status as a hedge against inflation and currency devaluation. For centuries, people have turned to precious metals like silver and gold to preserve their wealth, especially during times when the value of paper money erodes. Today, as inflation continues to climb and uncertainty around fiat currencies grows, silver is becoming a beacon for investors looking to protect their assets. Why is silver so effective as a hedge? Unlike fiat currency, which governments can print endlessly, silver is a finite resource. This scarcity helps silver maintain its value even when currencies lose purchasing power. In the past, during periods of high inflation, we've seen silver's price surge as people sought out tangible assets to shield their wealth. Take the late 1970s, for example, when inflation soared and silver's value spiked to nearly $1.50 an ounce, reaching an all-time high. Investors who held silver during that period were able to preserve their purchasing power even as the dollar weakened. Now, as inflation ticks higher and economic instability looms, more people are looking to silver as a stable store of value. With central banks around the world grappling with the effects of excessive money printing and potential devaluation, silver offers a form of security that fiat currencies can't match. This shift towards hard assets, driven by both inflationary pressures and distrust in paper money, is creating a new wave of demand for silver. Mannarino's call for investors to go all in on silver aligns perfectly with this narrative. As inflation threatens to erode wealth, silver's appeal as a hedge is stronger than ever. Are we witnessing a modern-day revival of silver as the ultimate safe haven? Could this be the right time to secure wealth in a tangible asset that has stood the test of time? With economic uncertainty mounting, silver might just be the safety net investors are looking for.
The only way there are certain people that are more receptive to truth. The fact of the matter is, this environment we're in has created legions of people who hate the truth. They despise the truth. If they're told the truth, they get angry. Unfortunately, and I've been saying this is the Babylon system here, where the truth is the enemy here. Love is the enemy here. Hatred and the fostering of hatred seems to be where people want to be at right now. I guess it's easier for people to hate than to love, unfortunately. But this is the truth. Now, look, there are some people, most people, unfortunately, they won't see it. Either fear or some kind of whatever their issue may be. But there are some that will come around. Don't waste your time. We are too close to this, and it's coming apart right now. It's not that we're waiting for it anymore. It's here now. It's here right now. So, look, what we're doing, you and me, and hopefully the people that follow this, just share it. Get it out there. Sometimes, look, people hear things and they get it, and some people think we're out of our freaking minds. But then they can't. Then they look around themselves and they wonder what's going on. And unfortunately, there are people like you and me that have been out here for a really long time, man. And I think we've done a very good job, man. I have to say that the people that follow our work are out there, they understand it. They're sharing our stuff. Hopefully they'll share this, come away with maybe a new perspective. But like you just said, and I say this all the time, we're preaching to the choir for the most part. This is where the people who get it, that's where they come in. Share this stuff. Get it out there. Talk about it. And just ignore those that obviously they hear the truth, they turn on you, and that's okay. They're lost. Let them be lost. Right? It's the land of the lost these days. But there's a select few that get it, and we are the ones here that are going to be there. You and me, we're not going to let our fans down. There's no way. We're gonna guide everyone through this. At least, hopefully, we'll still be.
While silver presents incredible opportunities, it's essential to understand the risks that come with it, especially in terms of market volatility and how it reacts during economic downturns. Silver prices are known for their ups and downs, often more volatile than gold. This volatility is both a risk and an opportunity, depending on the timing and strategy of the investor. During periods of economic slowdown or recession, industrial demand for silver can drop as manufacturing and production slow down, impacting silver prices. For instance, in the Great Recession of 2008-2009, silver prices plunged by over 40% as global economies contracted. However, there's a twist. While silver may experience sharp declines during downturns, these periods have historically proven to be some of the best times to buy. After that significant drop in 2008, silver prices rebounded by nearly 400% over the next few years, rewarding those who held onto their investments or bought in at the lows. This cyclical nature of silver means that while it might suffer in the short term during a downturn, its long-term potential as a safe haven remains strong. Investors who are prepared for the roller coaster ride of silver's price movements can view these downturns as buying opportunities rather than setbacks. By keeping a long-term perspective, silver investors can navigate its volatility and capitalize on rebounds when they occur. Gregory Mannarino's bull call to go all in on silver hinges on understanding these cycles. He believes that silver's value as a hedge will hold strong despite short-term market fluctuations. The question is, can you weather the storm and look at volatility as a stepping stone toward long-term gains? If history is any guide, silver's rebound potential might just make it worth the ride.
Understanding that it's central banks who must be portrayed as on the side of angels, they can't be blamed for anything. The central banks are responsible for monetary policy. They run the system, the markets, all of it. Okay. And they can't be held to account. Again, there's no accountability. And puppet leaders, no accountability. They can't point to the Fed. They will not blame them. So they blame each other. It's a joke. And the joke they think is on us, but not the people that follow our work. We're way too smart for that. But there's got to be an event. Some people believe, and I don't think this is true, but I'm just going to say it. People who follow my work, I read through the comments, I do every day. A lot of people are saying, Greg, it's going to happen on the 5th, the 5th, the 5th, the 5th. I'm going to say no because people are pointing at it. I sincerely believe that if you can foresee it, it's not the one. You're on the same page as me? The outlier.
Yeah, right. That's the definition of a black swan is one that you didn't see coming,
but
right?
Look, I'm not saying I'm smarter than anybody else. I'm certainly not. And maybe maybe people are right, but I've never seen before where people can ever in my life will say, okay, this is it, and that's when it's going to happen. We've heard a lot of stories like that. It's never right. To me, it's going to be some outlying event, and it's going to be dramatic, very, so they can say, okay, look, this is why the system is coming apart. It's not because of the fault of central banks or anywhere else. Unfortunately, that's what they have in store for us here. And again, we are being destroyed. We're being wiped out. It's an extermination event for the middle class around the world, and they're going to finish the job, bringing us back to a neo-feudal system, which I've been warning about for 10 years, and I'm sure you have been too. This is where we're going. But people still, they just don't get it because they don't understand. What's happening is people have become trapped by fear. Fear, misunderstanding, lies, deceptions, distractions. And again, these same people, because they don't know any better, aren't holding anyone to account. And that has led us to be a controlled society, unfortunately. And this probably is the final stage before the end. And I think we're very close to this. I can't imagine. Again, I just draw a line here. What I do, as you well know, is I just look at data. And I love doing it. And I put together like a dot plot. I have my own little dot plot. And like the Fed has. And I just kind of draw a line through the dots and see where it leads to. And I'd say that moving, look, after the selection here, man, all bets are off. And what comes out after that, we'll see. But 2025 really does not look good to me in any way, shape, or form. If people are expecting anything here to change for the better, they've been lied to, unfortunately.
Let's shift our focus to one of the more unpredictable factors that could impact silver prices: geopolitical risks. Silver, like other precious metals, often responds sharply to global events. Political instability, supply disruptions, and international conflicts can all send silver prices soaring. With silver production concentrated in specific regions, even minor disruptions can significantly impact supply, creating sudden price surges that investors can benefit from if they're positioned correctly. Take, for example, the COVID-19 pandemic. During the height of the crisis, silver mines worldwide faced closures or slowdowns, reducing the global supply at a time when demand for safe haven assets was increasing. This supply-demand squeeze pushed silver prices up rapidly, highlighting how global events can impact this precious metal. Moreover, silver's industrial demand makes it even more sensitive to geopolitical tensions. A trade conflict, for instance, could disrupt the supply chain for industries that rely on silver, adding another layer of volatility. And it's not just supply-side concerns. In times of geopolitical tension, like trade wars or currency devaluations, investors often flock to silver and other precious metals as a refuge. This demand surge can drive prices higher, giving silver an edge as a protective asset. With tensions rising in various parts of the world today, from trade uncertainties to political conflicts, silver's appeal as a hedge against instability is growing stronger. Mannarino's message to invest in silver might be based partly on this unpredictability. He sees silver as a shield against the unknown, a tangible asset that holds value regardless of what's happening on the global stage. As geopolitical risks continue to emerge, could silver's role as a safe haven become more vital than ever? In uncertain times, is it worth holding onto an asset that can thrive when the world is in turmoil?
First of all, man, look, people need to understand that they want to push people into a primal state of thinking. They don't want people to think logically, and they certainly don't want people to come together. They want us to keep us divided because there's our strength. And they have succeeded, unfortunately. It's just terrible to see what's happened here. Families have been ripped apart, relationships, friendships, because of what we're seeing now, because we are a controlled society in this nation, the United States, more so than anywhere else in the world. And that has made us the laughingstock of the world as well, I think, unfortunately. But this is a worldwide phenomenon, too. They really got people where they want us, man. We just got to have the high ground. Be ready for anything. No fear. Think logically. Because if you get afraid, that's when you start to lose your ability to think straight. And people will perform acts that they never would do. But people, unfortunately, do have a part of their brain which will revert to a deep survival instinct. And what I say is, people just need to establish the right relationships with the right people, and stop with the hatred and the division. Understand what's going on. Yes, question everything. Even me. If I'm sitting here, like, what is Greg saying? I want people to question every freaking word that comes out of my mouth all the time. I tell people, please do your own. If I say something, whatever it might be, here or on my own blog, just look it up for yourself. Think. Use your God-given intellect. Is it hitting you the right way or is it hitting you the wrong way? People know the truth when they hear it. And unfortunately, people have lost touch with that too. It's part of the mechanism of this dehumanizing us all. And that's another thing here. People don't look at each other as, we're all one family. Don't look at each other like that. They look at each other as the enemy. Well, hold on a minute. They're blue. I hate them. They're red. I hate them even more. We can't come together. It's just it's the mechanism, and it's the most twist. I never in my life would have believed we would be where we are now. But where we are now is very, and look, this is opportunity. This isn't really about all this. We need to look at these things as an opportunity to change it, to freaking change it. And I really want people listening to this right now, look at this as an opportunity to say, you know what, maybe I've been doing this and maybe I've been brainwashed into that, but I can change it. Because every day, every minute of every day is a new opportunity to turn it all around. Pretty much that's it.
In light of everything we've explored, it's clear that Gregory Mannarino's call to go all in on silver isn't just a speculative gamble. It's grounded in a convergence of powerful factors that position silver for extraordinary growth, from skyrocketing demand in markets like India, to its critical role in green technology, to the historical signals from the gold-silver ratio. All signs suggest that silver is on the brink of something big. With the Federal Reserve potentially moving toward rate cuts, we might soon see a weaker dollar, which will only boost silver's appeal to international buyers. Add to this the protective power silver offers against inflation and fiat currency devaluation, and it's easy to see why investors are flocking to it as a hedge in these unstable times. Even with its characteristic volatility, silver has shown its resilience, bouncing back stronger after every economic downturn. And as geopolitical tensions and industrial needs continue to put pressure on silver supplies, we're left with a metal that has both scarcity and high demand on its side. Mannarino's prediction rests on the idea that all these factors combined are setting the stage for a historic price surge. For those looking to protect and grow their wealth, silver could be the safest bet in today's unpredictable economy. So the big question remains, will you take advantage of this unique moment? As always, consider diversifying and investing wisely, but keep in mind that silver's potential is looking brighter than ever. Don't miss out on what could be a rare opportunity to buy before the storm hits. And remember, this isn't financial advice. Always do your research and decide based on your own risk tolerance and financial goals. But as Mannarino believes, the time to act on silver might just be now.